I never thought that one night of too much wine and careless laughter could destroy the rhythm of my entire life. And yet, here I am, sitting on a bench outside a little cafe in Brooklyn, staring at my phone as if it would magically conjure him back into existence. Lucas. The name still tastes bitter in my mouth. Not because of anything he did wrong exactly, but because he left. Just left like he had never known me at all. The first time I met him, it was in a tiny, dimly lit gallery on the Lower East Side. I had wandered in to escape the rain, soaked to the bone, and there he was sketching a passerby, completely absorbed in a swirl of charcoal and light. Lucas, famous, untouchable, and impossibly beautiful, did not notice me at first, which, in hindsight, should have been a warning. But when he finally looked up, those gray eyes were like magnets, pulling me across the room before I even realized I had moved. We talked that night. About art, about the ridiculousness of city life, about dreams that never seemed to line up with reality. And somehow, over cheap wine and pretentious laughter, a connection sparked that neither of us could deny. When he invited me back to his loft later that evening, I should have walked away. I should have remembered that famous artists like him are not known for keeping promises. But instead, I followed, heart-pounding, excitement and fear tangled into one messy ball. The loft was a reflection of Lucas himself, messy, chaotic, full of life and color, but with spaces that hinted at loneliness I hadn't yet dared to explore. We drank more, laughed louder, and when we finally kissed, it was like the city itself had paused to watch us. Passion ignited, raw and electric, and I thought maybe for the first time in my life I had found someone who could see me entirely. Morning came too quickly. Sunlight slanted through massive windows, catching dust in the air like tiny stars. And then came the words I had been foolishly ignoring. I can't. I shouldn't. We need space. I can't do this. I blinked. My chest tightened. Space. My voice barely carried. After last night. I'm a mess, he said, and I don't want to drag you into it. You deserve someone better than this. He gestured vaguely at the chaos around us, at himself, at something I didn't quite understand. Please just let me be. Just go. And I did. Or at least I tried. Weeks turned into months, and every time I saw his name in the headlines, every time a friend casually mentioned a new exhibit, my chest would seize. But I stayed away. I moved apartments, changed my routines, deleted his contact. It was like erasing a part of my own history, but somehow necessary. I had to survive the echo of him. Then, one rainy evening, I saw it. Not him directly, never him directly, but a subtle hint that my absence had been noticed. A mutual friend dropped a comment about him wandering through the gallery district, asking questions, searching for someone he couldn't name. My stomach dropped. He was looking for me. Lucas. The untouchable, elusive, famous Lucas. He was looking for me. I tried to ignore it, tried to bury myself in work, in coffee-stained novels, in anything that would stop my heart from racing. But hope, like the tide, has a way of creeping back when you least expect it. And soon, I realized I wasn't just hoping, I was waiting. Waiting for the moment he might find me. Waiting for the storm I had tried so hard to avoid. One night, a text came. Just a single, almost pleading message. I can't stop looking for you. Where are you? I stared at it for a long time, my thumb hovering over the screen. Part of me wanted to run, to protect the fragile walls I had built around myself. But another part, a bigger part, one I hadn't admitted even to myself, wanted to let him in. To see those gray eyes again. To feel that reckless, dangerous closeness that had burned between us like wildfire. Because Lucas didn't just leave a void. He left a map. And every step I had taken without him had only led me straight back to the place I had never really left. Him. The rain had stopped by the time I reached the old pier on the East River. The city lights shimmered across the water, fractured and trembling like my own nerves. I spotted him almost immediately. Lucas, standing at the edge, coat collar turned up, hands shoved deep into his pockets, as if bracing himself against something beyond the cold. Lucas, I called softly, my voice nearly lost to the gentle lapping of water against the wooden beams. He turned slowly, and for a moment, I thought he might vanish like a mirage. But then those gray eyes locked onto mine, wide and raw, and I could see everything he'd been holding back: the desperation, the regret, the longing. "I thought I lost you," he said, voice rough, unsteady. "I thought I'd ruined it all by being a coward." I swallowed hard, feeling tears threaten, but I fought them back. You left," I said, my voice breaking, though a small, incredulous smile tugged at my lips. "You promised distance." "I know," he whispered. "I thought I was protecting you from me, from this chaos I carry around. But the truth is, I was just protecting myself. And the moment you disappeared, I realized that nothing else mattered if you weren't in my life. For a heartbeat, everything between us froze. The city hummed around us, indifferent, yet entirely ours in that suspended moment. Then he stepped closer, just a little, the gap between us shrinking but still too wide to feel safe. "Do you even know how insane I've been?" he asked, his tone half laughing, half choked with emotion. "Searching, asking, leaving messages that I couldn't even send because I was too afraid of what you'd say? I've been waiting," I admitted, the words tasting like relief. "Waiting, hoping, wondering if you'd ever realize that I couldn't just disappear completely from your life." He shook his head, a mixture of disbelief and awe crossing his features. "I should have realized sooner. I should have fought for you instead of running. I've been a fool." Then, without another word, he closed the final distance, and I felt the warmth of him fold around me, like the city had tilted just for us. His arms were tight, not possessive, but desperate, as if he needed to feel that I was really there. And I was there, trembling and laughing at the same time, letting the tension of months collapse into this single, breathtaking embrace. "I'm not letting go," he whispered into my hair, and this time, I believed him. Not because he was famous, or because he was beautiful, or because the world would recognize his name, but because he had looked past all the chaos and fear and found me again. I pulled back just enough to look at him, memorizing the curve of his jaw, the shimmer of wet lashes against his cheek, the vulnerability in his eyes that no gallery or exhibition could ever capture. "Promise me," I said softly. "Promise me you won't disappear again." "I promise," he said, his thumb brushing my cheek. "No more distance, no more running, only from now on." And there it was, Lucas, the man who had left me broken, now holding me whole. There was no fanfare, no crowd, no applause, just the city, our small corner of it, and the quiet, sacred joy of two hearts finding each other again. We spent the night walking along the river, talking quietly, laughing softly, and even arguing gently over trivial things like which cafe had the best late-night coffee. It felt absurd, ordinary, but it was ours, and I realized that ordinary could be beautiful when shared with the right person. By sunrise, the sky bled shades of pink and gold across the water, and for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe without the weight of absence pressing down. Lucas stopped walking and looked at me, eyes bright, lips curved in a grin that was all mischief and sincerity. "So," he said, nudging me playfully, "are we starting over? Or is this just another dangerous game?" I laughed, the sound light and free. "Starting over," I said, "but this time, we're playing for keeps." He cupped my face in his hands, pressing his forehead to mine. "For keeps?" he echoed, a solemn promise wrapped in warmth and tenderness. And in that moment, I knew that the mistakes, the heartbreak, the fear, all of it had led us here. Not to perfection, but to something infinitely better. Honesty, vulnerability, and a love fierce enough to survive absence itself. As the sun rose over Manhattan, painting the city with new light, I finally let myself fall completely into him. No walls, no defenses, just two flawed, passionate hearts daring to love openly. And as we held each other, the river reflecting our intertwined shadows, I realized that happiness wasn't in grand gestures or flawless lives. It was here. It was this. It was us. And for the first time since that night we'd met, I truly believed that we could endure anything because we had each other. Lucas smiled down at me, and for the first time, I smiled back without hesitation. "Let's never let go," he said. "We won't," I replied, and it was true. We wouldn't. Not now, not ever. The city around us was alive, vast, and chaotic as ever. But for once, we weren't lost. We were exactly where we were supposed to be together. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.